K-DramaHaventv fam, brace yourselves because the entire K industry has been shaken to its core after what happened today. Jung Hae In, the man known for his calm, charming, gentle presence, walked into a sudden, completely unexpected emergency press conference, and he did not walk in alone. Standing behind him was none other than Jung So Min's family, looking tense, silent, and visibly overwhelmed. The moment the cameras started flashing, the entire internet flipped upside down. Fans, reporters, and even industry insiders were caught off guard because no one, absolutely no one, saw this coming. This wasn't a scheduled event, it wasn't part of a drama promotion, and it definitely wasn't a casual announcement. This was serious, heavy, emotional, and it only got more shocking with every passing second. From the very moment Hae In stepped onto that stage, people sensed something wasn't right. His expression wasn't the usual soft, polite smile he's known for. Instead, he looked anxious, exhausted, like he hadn't slept in days. Jung So Min's family stood behind him, stiff and uneasy, trying to hold themselves together. Fans watching the live stream immediately started commenting nonstop. Why is her family there? Why isn't So Min herself present? What is happening? What is he about to say? And why does he look like the weight of the world is on his shoulders? The room was packed with reporters who hadn't received any briefing earlier. They were invited last minute with a single cryptic message from Hae In's agency, urgent announcement regarding sensitive matters. No one knew what to expect. Some speculated it could be about a scandal. Others thought it might be a health-related update. But the presence of So Min's family changed everything. It added a layer of tension that made even the reporters nervous. As the murmurs grew louder, Hae In stepped up to the podium. He gripped the microphone with trembling hands. For a moment he couldn't speak. He took a slow breath, looked back at So Min's parents, then at her younger brother beside them. Their expressions were heartbreaking, worried, emotional, and almost protective of him. The silence in the room was so thick you could cut it with a knife. Finally, Hae In began to talk, but his voice was shaky, cracking at certain words. He started by apologizing for calling everyone on such short notice. He said there was something extremely important that needed to be addressed before rumors spiraled out of control. The way he said it sent chills down everyone's spine. He went on to describe a situation that had been building quietly behind the scenes, a situation that involved misunderstandings, pressure, and emotional turmoil connected to Jung So Min and her family. While he didn't go into explicit detail at first, what he did share was enough to send the entire room into chaos. He said he felt responsible for something that affected not just him and So Min, but also her parents and her brother. Something that had become too heavy to carry privately. Fans watching the live stream started panicking. What happened? Did they fight? Was there a conflict? Was there an issue on set? Did someone leak something? The tension only grew worse when So Min's mother wiped away tears while standing behind him. Then came the moment no one was prepared for. A reporter boldly asked where So Min was and whether she was involved in the reason for the emergency conference. Hae In's entire expression changed instantly. His eyes glistened, his lips tightened, and he hesitated before speaking. The air froze. When he finally answered, his voice was heavy with emotion. He said So Min was aware of the press conference but couldn't attend because things were too overwhelming right now. It was clear that whatever happened involved something deeply personal, something serious enough that she couldn't face the cameras. Hae In continued speaking, explaining that misunderstandings between their families, schedules, and private interactions had escalated beyond control. He said the narrative online had become distorted and people around them were suffering. He wanted to protect So Min's family from unwanted speculation, which was why he asked them to stand with him today, to show unity and transparency. But here's the thing, the more he talked, the more emotional he became. His voice cracked multiple times, and he kept glancing back at her family, almost as if seeking reassurance or silently apologizing to them. At one point, he stopped completely, covering his mouth as tears welled up. Reporters lowered their cameras. Fans online were screaming in the chat. People in the room stood stunned as Jung So Min's father stepped forward and gently placed a hand on Hae In's shoulder. That one gesture sent shockwaves everywhere. It was comforting, but also heartbreaking. It showed that something big, something serious had been discussed privately before this press event, something that required healing and unity. Once Hae In regained composure, he clarified that nothing illegal or scandalous happened, but the emotional weight of the issue was severe. He said he understood the public's curiosity, but asked everyone to respect boundaries while they sort things out privately. But just when the atmosphere softened and people thought the worst was over, something even more unexpected happened. A reporter asked whether the situation had anything to do with So Min's recent rumored project switch or the sudden changes in casting announcements surrounding the drama she was supposed to star in. As soon as that question landed, the energy in the room shifted. Hae In stiffened. So Min's family looked uncomfortable. Her brother looked down. Her mother looked away. Fans watching immediately picked up on the reaction. Hae In answered slowly, choosing his words carefully. He said recent casting issues and schedules did play a role in creating stress between families. He admitted miscommunication occurred, causing emotional strain. The way he talked made fans suspect that maybe he and So Min had been discussing a project together, or possibly negotiating something behind the scenes that went wrong. But what truly stunned everyone was when he said he didn't want misunderstandings to harm So Min, and that he felt he should be the one taking responsibility publicly. Imagine that. Jung Hae In, one of the most respected, soft-spoken, well-mannered actors, standing in front of the entire nation, holding himself accountable for something he wouldn't even fully disclose, simply to shield So Min and her family. Fans everywhere were in tears. Many commented that he looked like someone who had been dealing with guilt, stress, and emotional burnout for weeks. And then came the climax of the entire conference. A reporter asked directly whether Hae In and So Min had been in conflict with each other personally. This moment was so tense that even the camera operators paused. Hae In's breath caught. Her parents exchanged looks. So Min's brother clenched his hands. After what felt like an eternity, Hae In finally responded. He said that he and So Min have always respected each other deeply, but recent pressures and outside circumstances affected their communication. He said they were working through it privately and wanted to do so away from the spotlight. His tone was filled with sincerity, pain, and determination. Fans went wild after hearing that. Some thought it confirmed they had a falling out. Others thought it subtly hinted at a deeper bond that was being tested. The fact that her family was physically standing behind
Mother
her
Hen,
made
do
the
you know
moment
that you
even
haven't
more
laid any
emotional
egg
and
today?
intense.
Madam,
After
now who
this,
chopped the lay
Hae In
egg?
apologized once again to everyone, fans, the industry, the press, saying he didn't want rumors to spread further or cause more hurt to the people he cared about. By this point, Jung So Min's mother was openly wiping tears, and her father looked like he was trying to stay composed for everyone's sake. Hae In himself was visibly struggling to keep it together. You could hear the quiver in his voice even through the microphones. As the conference drew to a close, he bowed deeply, holding the bow longer than expected. It was a bow full of remorse, gratitude, and emotional exhaustion. Reporters stayed silent. Fans online were begging for clarity, support, comfort, anything. When he finally lifted his head, So Min's father stepped forward once again and gave a small, reassuring nod, almost like a silent message to the public that they were handling things as a family and that people should stop fueling rumors. Hae In then stepped back from the podium. So Min's family remained close behind him as they exited the stage together. The sight of them walking out as a unit was powerful and raised even more questions. Their expressions were mixed: relief, sadness, concern, and something else people couldn't quite describe. As the door closed behind them, reporters finally started buzzing, whispering, trying to piece together what just happened. Online, the fandom exploded instantly. Some fans were heartbroken, some were confused, some were worried, some were angry at the agencies for letting things escalate. Others admired Hae In even more for stepping forward first and shielding So Min during such a sensitive time. Clips of the conference went viral within minutes. Analysts and gossip channels began dissecting every expression, every word, every pause. What was the root of the emotional strain? Why wasn't So Min present? What discussions happened privately with her family before agreeing to stand with him